Yo, peace, peace. You know, it's the God AllahKing Wize, the God King. I'm here on this knowledge day right here, going live early in the morning. I'm on my second day of my fast. You know, as for those who know me, I go on my fast, you know, every month. I go on a 72-hour fast, right? And that's my discipline. I keep my discipline. I rejuvenate my power. I was on IG. I thought that shit was being sent out. I was live on IG, so I came here. I'm gonna go back to IG. I'm gonna go back to Instagram. But I came here to touch down on, you know, the knowledge, because today is knowledge. That's today's mathematics. Knowledge. It's the first. It's knowledge. Simple and plain, right? What I want to say is, I am the knowledge. I am the knowledge, right? You know what I'm saying? I am the knowledge. And when I'm saying I am the knowledge, right? You know, that I am that foundation. So, you know, I put up a post about stress, depression earlier. You know, you got people dealing with stress, you got people dealing with depression. And, you know, so what I say is, it's all in your mind. It's in your mind. So if you are overly stressed and you're dealing with depression, it's based off how you're looking at life. It's based off of how you are thinking about life. You're thinking about life a certain way. You're thinking about things a certain way. So it's causing you to experience certain feelings, certain emotion. It's causing certain chemicals to be released inside your bloodstream from your brain, right? So it's like some scientific, technical shit. But simple and plain is your thoughts, the way you thinking, is causing you to be stressed. It's causing you to be depressed. Stress is not a bad thing. It's okay to have stress. It's overly stressed. It's being overly stressed, which becomes toxic. Because stress, it keeps you active. Pressure, because we live inside of the universe, right? It's pressure. We live on the earth. It's pressure. And that pressure is designed to inspire you to go out and experience living, to experience the relationship that you have with the environment. So it's certain things that your body needs in order to continue to live in the environment. That's just how life's set up. So, you know, I was saying some things the other day on a video, on a reel. I was speaking about how, you know, I'm not Muslim. I'm not Moor, right? I'm not blood. I'm not Crip. I'm not GD. I'm not Land King. I'm God in the 5% nation of gods and earths. That's what I am. When you see AllahKing Wize, I'm representing the 5% nation of gods and earths, right? And so, you know, a lot of times people can get things mixed up, because sometimes people be mixing things together. You know, some people mix certain things together. And so, you know, the reason why I emphasize this, right? Because see, everybody don't know the history of Allah's 5% nation of gods and earth. Allah's 5%ers. A lot of people don't know the history of Allah's 5%ers. So when you see an individual like me who make it clear that, you know, I'm not a Muslim and I'm not Moor, it's for a good reason. I'm not blood. I'm not Crip. I'm not none of those things. The reason why it's so important, because in the early days of our nation, you had individuals who came from different places, right? You got individuals who were Muslim at first. Allah the Father, he was a Muslim at first. See, he was inside temple number 7. So he was studying as a fruit of Islam. he seen something in the lessons that caused his mind to evolve to the state of realizing himself to be Allah. And with that, he took on the mission to come to the young children that was in his environment and give them the knowledge of themselves. So at first, he wasn't telling them that they were gods. He was telling them that he was God. He is Allah. They began to recognize that they were gods themselves by studying him and the knowledge that he gave them. So some of them were Muslim at first. Some of the young youth that Allah came to, they were Muslim. Some of them were gang members. I'm talking like real gang members. Some of them were organized gang members. Some of them were Muslim, practicing Islam. You know, some of them were studying from the Sunni perspective. Some of them were studying the Nation of Islam perspective of Islam. Some of them were in gangs that they came up with themselves, you know. And so Allah formulated an identity which became known as Allah's 5%. And the way that was identified was through the knowledge that he gave them of how to identify each other, how to say this is one of us, this is your brother right here. It was based off certain knowledge, right? Because you had people that were acting like they were Allah's 5%. You had people who took on the name and tried to run with that. And then also the Father had to separate us from the Nation of Islam. He had to separate our identity. So it came where, you know, we became our own flag, universal flag. You know, in the beginning, they were saying Assalamu alaikum. He changed that. We no longer say that. We just say peace. We just say peace. We don't wear the crescent and the moon. We wear the universal flag. The sun, moon, and star, universal flag, 7 in the crescent, 8 points. That's our identification. Because we a nation. So we are a nation. That is the main thing that I would like for people to realize. We are a real nation. We have our own flag. Right? We building a nation. The Father put us in mathematical motion to build up a nation. Go out and gain knowledge. Go out, get your education, come back and build a nation. Why is that so important? Because our origin as black people come from us being the fathers and mothers of civilization. But through our oppressive experience in America as chattel slaves and as, you know, how they had second-class citizens or what you want to call it and all that shit, we got deprived of fundamental basic human rights. So some people don't know what it is to be a man, right? Because they extracted out of black men our manhood and reduced us to boys. And by reducing us to boys, it took away our mind to really recognize what it is that we should have. So they gave us things to satisfy child demands. Oh, you got this car. Oh, you have some clothes on right here that you got fancy clothes on. Oh, you got, you know, you got a job. But we talking about nation building now. Every nation has their identity through a land base. So we lost that. But Allah the Father brought this back to us. So all the black people who occupied the United States of America and became, you know, a part of this government, we lost that. We lost our own nationhood. And we became second class in another nation. We became the slaves to another nation. Some people can't comprehend that shit because your mind is stuck on the level of a child. You play sport and play. You just want to have fun with, you know, getting high, going to parties and all that shit good on a child level. But then, yo, at the end of the day, what the fuck do you own that you can say, I can leave behind to be remembered by? That the young can continue on to exist through. That's real life manhood right there. That's some manhood shit. Not no little boy shit. Yo, you can bust your gun off and you can shoot a nigga. You can beat a nigga up, jump a nigga. You can fucking have babies. Yo, boys do that shit. One sperm can come out of your motherfucking penis, nigga. You can get a woman pregnant. But you still gotta man up to a different level with responsibility for what you gave birth to. So now you gotta go out and make it happen. But see, the science of life is you can't do it by yourself in a world of competitors. It's people competing for resources on the planet Earth. So you have to move through a nation. You have to move through a nation. And nations must interact with each other. You must move through a brotherhood. And brothers interact with each other. And you have associates. And you have allies. And you build up different network channels. But you have to be a stand-up individual with principles. See, I come from a grimy, cold, dark background of the lifestyle living in the street. And I always say that shit because I say that shit to make it understood, motherfucker. I went through evolutionary change in my mind and how I think. I thought as a little child. I was a teenager doing these things, evolving into manhood, going through trials and tribulations, going through hell just to come out right. I went through shit that the average motherfucker couldn't take. So when I look at motherfuckers now and I see you having little problems, you overwhelmed with certain shit, yo, that's baby shit right there, man. That ain't nothing. That's no issue for real. We talking about supreme mathematics. Allah blessed us with supreme mathematics, his 5%ers, who evolved into godhood, manhood, godhood, Allahhood, all synonymous. When I say synonymous, it's all related. Manhood, godhood, Allahhood, nationhood. You understand? All that's related. So, yo, I'm not a Muslim. I'm not a Moor. But I have relationships. I have friendships with Muslims, Moors, Bloods, Crips. I'm not no Blood. I'm not no Crip. I'm not none of that shit. I'm God. But I have alliances. I have friendships. I have relationships with these different types of people. As long as they principle individuals. See, so look. I got brothers that's Sunni Muslim, right? That I have close friendship with. Like my brother Dawood. A very beautiful brother. Or like Azim, Muslim brother. Very beautiful brother. Principled individual. Our relationship coexists on principle of manhood, right? We look at God different ways. I see Allah how I see Allah. They see Allah how they see Allah. They don't come to me with trying to convert me to be no Sunni. I don't go to them to try to convert them to become a part of the 5%. Nah. We respect each other for where we stand. So it's like nation building. You know what I'm saying? This like prime ministers, just like heads of state come together. And we coexist and talk about some things. And we can work together on some things. Because we mature men. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to disrespect where you at. And I'm not going to allow you to disrespect where I'm at. Because the disrespect shit bring about war. See what I'm saying? That's what happens with that shit. So we understand those things. We evolve through those levels. And we have to be an example for the young niggas. The young individuals that's going through the fuck they going through. They emotionally disturbed. They can't even think straight because they fucking overly emotional. You see what I'm saying? So you're dealing with female traits real strongly. You can accept that shit or reject it. You don't gotta like it. Who gives a fuck whether you like it? You see what I'm saying? You got female qualities highly expressing through your motherfucking mannerism. You see what I'm saying? Yo, I don't give a fuck if you don't like me. I don't give yo AllahKing Wize. You can talk pop shit how you want to pop shit. Certain shit you say disrespectful, I'm gonna address it and then I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you for a long time over arguing and shit. I only do that with my goddamn woman. We can go do some shit because I want her to see some shit, and I ain't gonna go for that long with her. After a while, I'm saying, you know what? I ain't gonna keep talking about that shit. Okay. That's man. I'm not gonna keep. See, a woman might want to keep going. Shit, a woman can go. You really not gonna win no argument. You know, you argue with a woman, yo, that shit ain't, you ain't gonna win that argument. So me, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, whatever. We could build this shit another time. See, when the emotions out of that shit, it's a time and a place for everything. Sometimes it ain't the right place to even build on some shit. Sometimes you gotta handle it right then and there. But back to my main thing, knowledge. You gotta become the knowledge. So now you gotta look, listen, observe, and respect. You gotta be aware of things, man. But you gotta have an example of manhood. So for me, I studied my older brothers. I studied the older guards. The older guards went through some shit, man. So some of y'all try to judge the older guards. Oh, because they did this. Motherfucker, what the fuck you doing right now? You carry Allah in your mind as you the God and see how heavy that fucking weight is. Before you try to analyze and say, oh, you know, the gods, they did this, and the God did that. The God was a dope fiend. The God was a crackhead. So fucking what? So fucking what? He went through his trials and tribulations, and some of them got stuck in their trials and tribulations. Study the pressure. How did they handle the pressure? Some of them handled the pressure in a fucked up way. But check this out, though. When they went to their physical death, they went to their death as God, though. As the God. As Allah, God, in their mind and heart. They didn't, you know, so I'm gonna give you a good example. My big brother, my father mentor, Allah be. I build about Allah be all the time. And you know, certain people don't like Allah be. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? You got some people say, yo, Allah, man, fuck